Hey, welcome to the podcast. This is Robert. Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, as you can see, we're doing another kind of follow-up type of interview with somebody who I've had on. Was it? I don't remember at this point. It was last year, but I'm trying to remember the month. Probably it was around this time. Probably in a same outfit, I think. I'm trying to keep track of everything. So this is Simona. Thank you so much for joining us on this afternoon's lovely episode.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me, Robert. It's super nice to see you again, all the way across the world. Well, all the way
I
across
know,
time.
yeah, because you're like out in New York, New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, NY. Yeah, out here in LA where it's finally starting to cool down, if you can believe it. Like
Yeah, us
weather.
too.
Yeah, so we've been getting some pretty nice weather, but you know how it is during this time of year. It's gonna probably warm up again at some point, but hey, that's our current climate now, I guess.
I think that's I think that's the
Yeah, it
climate
goes
for
up,
everybody
it
and
goes
everything.
Yeah, it kind of goes ups and downs, which is kind of like a good metaphor for this year because you hit an up and then you kind of hit a low. And then every so often you kind of hit that in between where it's like, okay, so I wonder when's the next roller coaster I'm going to be going through in life? You know what I mean?
Right, when's it gonna hit? When's it gonna hit?
When is it? Yeah. But like, I don't. Yeah, so that's why I'm always like, you know what? I don't just dread like, oh, what's gonna happen or yeah, but it's like, we would just talk all the time. Like when we text and everything, it's like, what is it that you can control what you can right now, which I feel like is probably gonna be the theme for this episode, come to think of it.
Yeah, you
So
know,
yeah,
I love mental health. I love talking
yeah,
about
we
mental
just
health.
love to
That's
get serious and we just love to talk about just stuff. Just stuff.
and it really that is number one. What is in your control, you know? Even with the voice with everything, with the voiceover industry, with everything changing all the time with AI and it's also feeling a bit oversaturated lately. We have to figure out what is in our control. What can we be present with in everything in life?
Exactly. Yeah, which is why, it's not just what's been happening, just around the world, but it's like with voiceover, just specifically, there's been a lot of, like you said, AI, a lot of, you know, there certainly were a lot of strikes, but I think we're kind of out of one right now. And reason that I say out of one strike is because, like I said, you just never know what we're gonna be going through, man.
Yeah, but we're fighting back,
Yeah, we are
that
definitely
which
fighting
is
back. So.
wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm just glad that we're fighting back, like just in general, because even when we get knocked down, we just kind of find the strength to get back up. Like I was saying to you, like when we talk on my, I just did this thing. When we talk through like text, phone, all that stuff, just having, real talks about, hey, so how are you doing? What's going on? Like just share updates and all the good stuff. So,
Yeah, because it's constantly changing. There's a lot of pressure right now in
exactly.
regards to things turning non-union.
Oh yeah,
Um, so that's putting a lot of pressure on a lot of people and casting directors, and everybody is sort of flounging around trying to figure out which way is up, which way to go, and also to balance things out and just go with the flow, with the system, with the things that we can't change, the things that are out of our control. So I think it's the strikes are necessary. All the chats back and forth within the unions and stuff are necessary. Trying to work with non-union and trying to find a balance. It's all necessary, especially for voiceover. I think when you're on camera, that's when things get a bit tricky. That's when non-union
yeah.
people doing union work and union people doing non-union work, that gets a little bit tricky. But behind the scenes in voiceovers, we can sort of bounce back and forth if we need to, and we need to a certain extent because, like I said, so much is going on union. It's very tricky.
I've did a lot of episodes with people that are in like I mean, I pretty sure I did an episode with yeah, I did a few with Lindsay Rousseau. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm sorry. But yeah, people that are on like the SAG committee and they're able to just talk a lot about the just kind of like the nuts and bolts of what's been happening, like development of the strike, when it was going on, and then just, how can we protect our actors with AI? Just, I mean, originally it was for like video games, and then it just kind of grew into like the WGA writers and then the actors, and it just became a
Yeah,
whole hullabaloo of just craziness the last two
yeah.
years. Yeah, those are fun.
That's
Yeah,
good
because like,
times.
yeah, because um, yeah, I think I was pretty sure that you were also a part of. You went out and just supported your actors during the strikes, but I remember like here in Hollywood and LA, I think the one time that I actually, because I don't really, because I know I'm in like the area, but the only times that I would really visit is if like, I don't know, if I'm invited to something or if something goes on, which kind of happens every so often. But during the summertime, yeah, it was all over the news. So it was pretty much a big deal. And the only times that I actually visited and seen people, I was like, oh, wow, hey, I'm actually here. I'm actually seeing a strike happening in real
Yeah.
time because all the other times before, I wasn't even in the industry at the time. But now here I am. And now it just feels like, so this is what it feels like. So this is what it means to, stand in solidarity with your actors. Oh, so I see how it is. I'm
Mm-hmm.
in this thing now. Okay.
I'm in this
Let's
thing now.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Ish.
Let's go. I know. It's
Yeah.
I am very honored to be in the union, and I
Oh
support the union
yeah.
and all
Yeah.
others. I am FICOR though. I am FICOR because I was doing a lot of before I joined the union. I was doing a lot of dubs. I was doing Pokemon and a lot of Korean and Japanese dubs. So when I joined the union, I was told straight off the bat, like you can do both by being FICOR. So I am FICOR now. That being said, I do not do on camera union work. I'm sorry, I don't do on camera non union work. So I
Okay.
keep the FICOR jobs to voiceovers only. But it's very tricky. You know, a lot of people, there were some people that kind of blamed me for tearing down the union and stuff, which is not true. They need to do their research and really look into stuff. But it's challenging. There's a lot of people that say that, um, you know, that's sort of what that tipped the industry to be more non-union, that more and more companies are going non-union, and it's not true that FICOR did that, that people that were in FICOR did that. It's the way the industry is going, uh, but it's hard, you know. I don't like admitting it because I do get a lot of I get a lot of backlash on it, you know, that I'm scabbing and such, but that's not true either. I still pay my dues. I still do all the things. But with voiceovers, it's kind of where you have to be able to do both ends.
Yeah. Because I did like a lot of these workshops or like seminars where a lot of us had questions pertaining to the union, like is it and since I know that you're also just kind of doing like a lot of SAC and VICOR stuff, so from your perspective, and this is actually kind of like an interesting, segue to my, I guess, first legit question is like, being a member of the union, would you say that jumping and just making the big switch to the big union is kind of something that is like, because I know there are pros and cons, but how would you say that this decision really helped you along your voiceover journey personally, just from your perspective?
Um, Being a part of the union?
Yeah, just making the jump into, SAC and what have you. Yeah.
Well, I joined SAG in 2002, so a long time ago. Um, and you know, that's sort of it feels like a rite of passage. You know, to there were certain things as an actor that were rites of passage for me. Getting an agent, getting into the union, That was it. Getting an agent, getting into the union. Those were the two. Like, okay, I made it. These are the things that I needed to do. And it's expensive. It's very expensive. I think when I joined, it was $2,100, and now I think it's 2,600. I'm not sure, but it's no, I'm sorry. I think it's like 3,200. It's pretty expensive. It's super expensive. So it's hard. So a lot of people are, when I did it, it was worth it because I got a commercial and, I was going to make back that money. But there's lots of people that are forced to join for jobs that they're making 200 bucks on. So they have to pay, $3,200 or however much it is, for a job that's giving them 200 bucks. And then, who knows if when and if they'll get another union job. So it can be tricky for people. I completely understand that. Why a lot of people sort of hang on to their waivers and they don't join right away. Um, but the benefits, the camaraderie, the contracts, the agency that you're given through the union, it's really important. And of course, my pay grade went up exponentially when I joined the union in regards to the jobs that I got, the work that was offered to me, and the way in which my agent was able to manipulate contracts or work with not manipulate but to negotiate the contracts. That's the thing with non-union. Like I said, I do it because I do a lot of international dubs and stuff, and I always had before I joined the union. But it's very you just never know what you're going to get, and you can't fight for things, and you're not going to get residuals. um, I'm sorry, you can fight for things. You absolutely can. Nowadays, more so, you absolutely can fight for things because there is more non-union, because there are more contracts, because there are more people looking out for you and they know what to look out for. And the agents are now working with non-union. They absolutely can fight for you more. But you definitely get paid more money and the ability to get residuals and stuff by being union. So there is more benefits, I believe, to being union, but in non-union, I do work more. I absolutely do work more. Sorry, I should say non-union animation. Most of what I do is with anime and animation. That's most of the work that I do. And I absolutely get more non-union work, but I get paid more doing union work.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for, sharing from your perspective because it's always nice to just have like, many different ears and voices, just people that are just offering just how is it like being in a union for, X amount of years or what have you? Because one question that I would ask to people that are a part of SAG and what have you, and this is something that I'll probably ask you too. Would you say that it's a good idea to, because if you've already booked like a non-union gig, but you joined SAG, is it wise to finish those non-union stuff, like the stuff that you're already doing, or leave ish? Yeah, like that part might be a little sort of complicated to answer, but my overall question is like once you officially join SAG for the previous non-union commitments that you're already doing, is it wise to finish them or step down from them? That's pretty much what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It's definitely, personal depending on the person and what they're doing. For me, one of my main dreams in the acting world was to be the voice of an animated character. My absolute dream. So when I started to work with Pokemon, and to work with some other dub companies, um, it was a dream come true. It made me so happy. So then when I had to join SAG, I did speak to some of the people over in the union, and they were very nice. They were very nice, and they. I was very scared. I was definitely very scared. I was afraid that I would get a lot of backlash, and But I came to them and I said, "Look, I'm already doing this work. I love it." And thankfully, Sarah Netticeni, who voiced Ash for like 18 years or something like that. She really pushed. They did the same for her, or similar to her, that she was non-union, but she really pushed for Pokemon, the company, to go union. She was a huge advocate for that, and it did after I haven't been cast in anything for them since Sun and Moon series. Um, but she was so now it's union. But for a few of us, SAG understood that we were working with them already, and we had established these relationships. So that's how FICOR came into play. And the union is not happy about it at all. And nowadays, they can be very mean to people. To be honest, they can be very mean to people. But that's just what that's what unions are. They together, united, we stand. It's very strong and in solidarity. Uh, so they kind of have to give people a hard time to an extent. But back then, I was allowed to continue doing the work that I was doing because I had already established a relationship with enough companies and was working enough that that's why FICOR became the obvious choice. But if you're already to drop work that you're doing, that's entirely your call. I mean, if you're working with a company and you say, it's fun, but it's not that great, then yeah, drop them. But if you have established a relationship, and especially with such, it's an outstanding company such as the group that does Pokemon and even people that do Yu-Gi-Oh, and they're just wonderful companies and wonderful organizations and shows to be a part of. If you want to be an anime, if you want to be working in animation and anime, you don't want to lose those ties. That's my answer. That's my final answer.
Pretty good answer, because I know when it comes to this type of question, it's like, I have an answer. I do have a response to it, but it's like, you know, like guys, this industry, it's a lot of fun, but trust me, I know there's a lot of answers that might seem easy on the surface, but it's like, look, I might be asking Simona this question, but trust me, if you speak to anybody that is in, SAG, or just, and not just even with that, but there's a lot of people that work in many different fields of voiceover, and they're different, and their, experiences are going to be vastly different from, say, you or me. You know what I mean? And someone else's answer is gonna be like, oh well, it's da 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 da, but like with yours, it's so you were able to do Pokemon and a lot of these other gigs for a while, but somebody would just say, yeah, it might be a little tricky, but I'm just really
Yeah.
thankful that Pokemon has gone union, and we've been having a lot of actors that, let me see. I don't think they've really been. I mean, we've even had. I mean, there's people that aren't SAG that do like union anime dubs. Like I think that what's that one show that just did a movie? The Demon Slayer anime just went
Oh
union,
yeah.
and yeah, so it's
K-pop.
that. The K. I'm sorry.
K-pop Demon Slayers.
Oh no, I think it's K-pop Demon. I think it's Hunters. That's on Netflix. But I think the yeah, it's like this. It's an anime, but well, the Demon. Yeah, I'm just really glad that the K-pop one is kind of like that has really been taking the. It literally is taking the internet and the world by storm. Like, oh my
I
gosh. But
know.
yeah, and that's actually like one of those examples where it's like, hey, it's not too late for original IPs to just, start popping off. I'm just saying, instead of all these sequels and stuff, but that's just me. But yeah, going back to the anime stuff, yeah, so the demons, yeah, that's the name, Demon Slayer. I think that's one of them, and also the Pokemon one. I'm pretty sure we got a couple of names like Crispin Freeman, like was in one of the newer dubs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And
and
there's a lot of great
a lot of
companies
great
that are
talent.
not in
Yeah.
like the one that I'm working with that I'm so grateful for is the Tonys. The Tonys is a toy company primarily, and they worked with Disney and they worked with Pixar for the longest time. And myself and my castmates, my incredible castmates, Courtney Shaw and Amanda Turin, we are their first original toys. So we are called the La La Linos, and it's great. The Tonys are non-visual toys for kids, where you put like the toy on top of the Tony box, and then the stories of that toy come out. So if you have Belle from Beauty and the Beast, her music and the stories of Beauty and the Beast, and they do all the sort of adventure stuff. But with us, the La La Linos, now they have stories and songs, and they also do choose your own adventures, where you can choose where we will go, and it's they're paying us wonderfully. They treat us so well, and it's been such an honor. I'm so grateful to work with this company on a regular basis, and they're non-union, but they really do treat us very, very well. And it's nice to be the first of its kind.
Right on. Yeah, and I'm just really glad that, and this is something that I don't think I've really discussed here either, like voice acting for toys. Yeah, because I know
Yeah.
that's kind of like something that is very under discussed, but think I should probably get some more attention because like I think I interviewed because I think it was Chris Anthony somebody like they were talking about voicing the Barbie dolls for so many years, and the funny thing was when they started voicing the Barbie, like with Mattel and all these other companies, like I know I always knew that the Barbie stuff was still very much is pretty big. I mean, like big enough that we got like a movie just a few
Right.
years ago. So yeah, which went over very well. I've only seen a little bit of it, so I can't really get my thoughts.
That's fantastic.
And I'm just like, you know what? But the thing is, it's like when I interviewed Chris, like I think she started voicing the for the company, like I think it was around the time that the Northridge earthquake happened in '94. So that was
Oof.
yeah, like yeah, talk about a time capsule. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you just never know. Like I think this like also an example of like, oh man, like when we had a tragedy, like the like in '94 and with tragedies that are happening that are continuing on to this day, like you just never know when some you'll book something and it ends up being like, oh my gosh, this really helped me during this time. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
just it can even help you because yeah, you were telling a little bit about some of the work that you've done and how it helped you through some of your dark times. I shouldn't really say that. Like some of your like moments where,
Oh, they were dark.
you felt down. Yeah, dark, fell down, it's despair, that stuff. But yeah, it even helped you. So I'm just really glad that, you still share, your story and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go too much into it. So you guys might want to check out the last interview I did. But yeah. And it's especially considering the fact that, this week, it's the how can I put this? You know what? I'm just gonna say it, the suicide prevention awareness, this
Yeah.
month.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
saying?
specifically this
That's the
week because
problem, is
yeah.
that people are afraid to say.
Yeah,
The whole
because it might be
month is
triggering and
Suicide
stuff
Prevention
because
Month.
then I just remembered it is the prevention week, so I'm like, you know what? Yeah, why not? Just something for the occasion.
Every
Yeah,
day is a
every day.
prevention, especially nowadays in today's climate, and in our industry that's constantly changing, and people just don't know where to go and how to get work and what to do. And with everything going on in the world, it is something that needs to be mainstream talk. And
For
that
real.
actually, and you're right. Like the voiceovers, the animation, anime, it fills my heart. It
It really
absolutely
does.
fills my
Yeah.
heart and is a lovely antidepressant. And I take care of dogs. That's a lovely antidepressant. And it's also the people you surround yourself with. So I'm a part of a group now called the Podcast Babes. And these are all women coaches of different persuasions, and most of them have their own podcast. I do not yet, but it's a group that I sort of fell into that was recommended to me by a friend because I really wanted that energy, that sort of determination energy. I'm also a budding health coach. I have many things going on in my life. And the energy that we surround ourselves is so important. So I got involved in this group basically on WhatsApp, And the woman that runs it, she's lovely, Catherine Veronica Kinsley. She's an amazing woman. And she would run, mindset months for us, where every day she would give us an activity based on how to encourage mindset, proper mindset being present, and then something on finances, and then something on AI. And now we are writing a book together. We're all writing a chapter in an anthology based on taking our pain and turning it into power. So, whatever moment in your life was very difficult, that we turned into empowerment, that we turned into, taking something, anything difficult that you turned around and turned it into something that gave you more strength and empowerment and resilience, and that you were able to help others with. And I just wrote a chapter for that, which was really intense and healing, really healing, and to write out this moment in my life, or these moments in my life that I hadn't gone back to in a while. And I really encourage that for everyone. So many people here probably know The Artist's Way, right? The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I think that's her name, Cameron. Shoot, everybody knows The Artist's Way. It's a book that encourages journaling for artists. To really get stuff out of your head, and to do exercises that encourage creativity. And these are things that are so important right now, especially with this industry where we get put into a box by ourselves. You know, we're speaking to the director. Our castmates aren't even there. Although with the Tonys, I love it. We do group sessions and stuff, but you don't often do. We don't get to audition with other people anymore. So it's important for us to really get out of our heads and to be creative, and to surround ourselves with people that whose energy we feel we can be ourselves with. We feel supported in any industry, coaching, acting, voiceover, business, anything. It's important to surround yourself with that type of energy.
Yeah, that is really beautiful. And yeah, like you said, it's just so important that we surround ourselves with just people that we love, go outside, see the world, touch grass, or
Yes.
paint. Yes, that we just need that. I mean, it's good to be informed of what's happening, but hey, there it is. But yeah, it's good to be informed of what's happening, but at the same time, it's like you just gotta like just allow yourself to just have to just unwind and just detox and just all the stuff. It's like it could be overwhelming, but that's why it's so that's why I'm just so blessed that God gave us, a park or a beach
Right.
or just doing just activities while we can. Because we may be like, oh my gosh, everything is really terrible. Well, they can't take away what we can do and how to, surround ourselves with all these amazing people, Like that's what how I
Yeah.
think about it. It's like, look, like even if the world can kind of seem really dark and bleak, it's like, hey, at least we still are grateful that we're in a home, a house, a bed, all these the stuff that, you know, like when we
Yeah.
go, it's like we can't take any of this with us, but at the end of the day, it's like we're doing what we can do. Like the stuff that we can control is in our system. There's a lot of stuff that is out of our control, but
And
what is
even if
something
you
that you
can't
can do?
afford anything,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Go ahead. What is something that
Yeah,
you
what is
can?
something that you can do to, really control the circumstances that you can control,
Hmm.
if that makes sense?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, it
around you.
absolutely makes sense. And again, it's exactly what you said, Robert, so beautifully was, you don't need money to go out and step on grass. Now, granted, I live in a city, but there's still grass to be found. Hopefully there's no hypodermic needles in it, but for the most part, there's still grass to be found. And that's free to walk on grass, to feel grounded, to put your feet in the ground, to just get some fresh air, to feel the sunshine. These are all things that, no matter what politicians say, they can't take that away from us. They can't take away the sun, not yet. But there's simple things, meeting up with people, talking to people, writing. These are all simple things you don't even have to spend money to do, to really like get in touch with yourself and to be in touch with other people. And if you're a spiritual person or a religious person going to church, that's a beautiful community or temple. Or yeah, it's these things are free. and important.
Exactly. Oh yeah, especially with church. Like I've talked about my testimony with my walk with Christ in previous interviews, but if I kid you not, if I didn't really start reading the Bible or just really learning more about like I mean, it's really funny that we're talking about this stuff because I know that a lot of people say that the book of Revelation is like, it's not just a make believe thing. It's like this stuff really is happening right now. And I'm just like, yeah, well, yeah, if you study the Bible, this is kind of stuff that kind of happened then. And, it did say that it's probably going to happen again in the future. And, well, I don't want to say that, like, oh, we're in the end times or anything, but yeah, I don't really think none of this is really a coincidence of like the books that you read, and not just even in the Bible, but like when you read like literature or just books that talk about, just really big subject matters. And it's like, yeah, the stuff that happened, like, racism or discrimination. I mean, a lot of this stuff is still continuing today, but like we were talking about, we just got to keep on trucking forward and just continue just fighting for what's right, and just most importantly never just giving up or just letting ourselves just give in, like just never stop being our true selves. And I think that's something that a lot of us really need to learn when it comes to, if you're doing show business or just anything in life, really, like just never stop being yourself,
Yeah.
for
Yes,
real.
absolutely. I would say I don't think that this is the end of time. I think that that's going to take a lot. Uh, this is not the end of times, and you know, in regards to the Bible predicting what's going to happen, I mean, there's been a lot of predictions, outside of the Bible of all of this. There's been a lot of predictions of what is happening now. But it's not even a prediction. It's human nature. It's that greed. It's fear. It's selfish. It leads people to act in certain ways and be reactive. And as technology builds as well, it causes people to act crazy in certain ways. But exactly what you said is that you have to come back to yourself. You have to come back to what is real, what is present, what you know. There's that exercise when people are having panic attacks and anxiety and stuff called the 5-3-2-1, where it's something like, what are 5 things that you can see? What are 4 things that, am I saying this wrong? Just cut me off. 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can smell, 2 things that you can um, touch, and then 1 thing that you can taste or something like that. But it's bringing it back to you and what you're in control of, where you are right now. So whatever is in the news, whatever is in the Bible, whoever's predicting or saying whatever they're saying, you know you can always come back to yourself and know that, you know as out of control, even as out of control as our thoughts may seem, that we still will always have the freedom to choose how we react to anything. So no matter the circumstances, no matter what's going on around you, you will always, always, always have the choice to choose how you will react to anything. So I'll leave it with that.
For sure. I guess this concludes part one, so we'll continue this conversation for at least a little bit in the next part. So if you like this so far, let me do this. Yeah, if you're liking this so far, just leave a like, comment, all that stuff, and I guess I'll see you in the finale. Toodaloo. Alrighty, welcome back. And yeah, we are rolling indeed. So yeah, yeah. So I don't think we talked about like any of the recent stuff that I mean, you did with with the toy company, with like the project that you're just talking about. But I think it was the last time that we spoke. You did a cartoon, and I think it might have shown me. You shared an email with me about this new animated series that you're in. Yeah, it was a while back, so
Yeah,
I
I,
think
I,
it
I
was done
mean,
by because you said it was Peter Hannon, correct?
oh, that's the Tonys. Yeah.
Tony's,
So,
yeah.
yeah, Peter Hannon, he was composing. He composed our first season. And by seasons, I mean this is still a toy. there's a couple of animations on YouTube, and we will have an album, which might be up for a Grammy, who knows? But which is pretty neat. But the Peter Hannon did the first season, and he is no longer working with the show. But we have a great team on that we're working with for season two. Um, that our director and musical director, we have Zach Jablow is our director, and Tish Wolf is our musical director, which really has changed up the music and made it very poppy, very catchy. And so now we're working on season two, which is so much fun. Again, it's so much fun. They treat us very well. Some other shows that I don't know if I mentioned to you at the time, but some other shows, one of which is
Yeah, what you been
Dinoster
working on
Quantum
lately?
Heroes.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, Dinoster Quantum Heroes. I should have brought in my toy. I just got a toy for it. But it's very similar to Transformers, where we turn into dinosaurs that turn into cars that turn into submarines that turn into, and that's on Amazon Prime. I'm playing a character named Trina, who is a villain, but she has an arc. You know, she's a villain, but then she's a nice person, and then she's a villain, and then she just is doing her own thing. But it's really nice to have an arc in these sorts of things. A couple of other stuff is one, I don't know if it's been picked up yet, but it's Pole the Pirate Mouse, which is a beautiful. So I'm working on two shows that I don't know who they've been picked up by, but they're both based on English children's stories. One is Pole the Pirate Mouse, which is beautiful animation. I play Pole the Pirate Mouse, and as well as her friend Pasha the pig. So that was super fun doing two voices. Sometimes I had scenes with myself, which is which is really neat. Um, and I love that. That's really that's such a fun thing to work on because you really have to have. Well, what I do is I'll put little post-its to remind me, the personalities and where the voice is going. If it's high, so Paul was more up here, and she had a British accent, and Portia is down here, and Portia's a little bit more Cockney, and so I would have to have notes to, bring me up and down in my voice to remind me to go up and down in my voice, which is super fun. And then the other one is Charlie, um, Little Charlie, based on the British children's books Little Charlie, where I voice Monica, his friend, with another English accent. So those are fun. Those are the main things I guess that I can talk about. Um, yeah. Oh, and I just did Warhammer, the video game Warhammer, where the exact opposite of everything I just talked about. I played a nasty daemonette, which is it was like they're like sadistic and they're like S&M, and they're very different from little kid characters. That was more of like a yeah, Damon talking like this, talking like very, very different from the children's cartoons.
Yeah, it's so fun when you get to, and this is part of the fun that you work on a kid's cartoon, but then you also get to do like this really kind of gritty, just video game. And next thing you know, you're doing a show for Fox or ABC, Adult Swim, and
Right.
all these other companies. So yeah, you just never know what you'll end up trying out for. And 9 times out of 10, it's always gonna be that one role that is kind of like the I like to consider it as just like, you know what, just throw it in a blend, just throw something, go extra, and then next thing you know, that's the one you end up going, that you end up doing, just that the extra thing that you did that ends up booking
Yeah.
the part, which is
But
fine.
it's so. I was just
Yeah.
talking about this with some voiceover friends where,
Yeah.
You know, all especially for commercials, right? So commercials voiceovers,
Ooh.
they're
Mm.
constantly saying, you know, as if you're talking to a friend, a
Yeah,
regular
be
conversation,
conversational.
be
Yeah.
conversational like we are being right now, right?
Yeah.
And you'll do that, but what you end up hearing once it's produced is almost entirely different. It's they'll
Every
talk
single
like
time.
this, you know, Bounty, the quicker picker upper, and what they end up choosing is someone, or what they end up having you do is Bounty, the quicker picker upper. So you never know. You never know.
Exactly. But on the subject of Pokemon, I think also the last time we were doing like a special commemoration for, I believe it was Rachel, but now I just wanted to give a quick, my condolences to James, unfortunately, who also left
Carter,
us far too
yes.
soon. Yeah. So it's just kind of like something else that I just wanted to throw out there, just because I know this is also technically like a Pokemon sort of like still commemoration thing that I'm doing here. So yeah, I just wanted to
Yeah.
give a shout out to those two because they absolutely rocked it, in the Pokemon franchise. They really did.
Yeah, yeah. It's you know, I knew Carter a bit better than I knew Rachel. Rachel is a sweetie as well.
Yeah.
Carter, I knew better. I went to his funeral. It was absolutely beautiful. So many people got up and spoke and sang, and you know, his wife is a minister, and she he was a incredible musician that a lot of people didn't
Oh
know
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an incredible. I mean, that's how he started. You know, was this an incredible pianist, and he wrote. He would write. He adapted like almost all of the
Oh my,
Pokemon.
yeah, and he wrote a lot of the episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would do a lot of it by himself. And
Yeah.
so now the people that are taking it on, it's such a huge task, you know, that they're, because he had it down to you know, he really had
Yeah.
it down. And it's a huge loss. Yeah, it's a huge loss to that community. So very nice of you to to commemorate him and bring that
Yeah.
up.
Because I
And her, and
believe,
Rachel.
yeah, I might have chatted with them on Facebook maybe once or twice, but I did meet Rachel very briefly years ago. I've also shared this story, but it was at LA Comic Con, which I'm actually going to be there the whole weekend for my
Oh,
birthday this
nice.
year. So just as a quick little, self promo. But I was at Comic Con and it was Veronica, it was Eric, Tara, I think was there, and of course Rachel. So it was the OG cast, and
Mm.
believe it or not, we were actually talking about, Maddie Blostein, who was Meowth.
Oh,
And yeah, so we were just talking about how, and I mean, especially during this time with like, because I don't really discuss this neither on the show, where like, we just don't really have like a lot because I feel like Maddie was kind of like one of those old school voice actors, like from the OG days, where they kind of paved the way for a lot of like trans or LGBT voice actors just being in Pokemon. I mean, like in the new dub that just came out, I think I was seeing like a lot of non-binary, a lot of a lot more diverse cast, in the newer stuff, which I know is something. It's another discussion that we've also talked about like many times, so many people on my show, but I think Maddie was kind of like one of the ones that really, I mean, I won't say that she was the first, but definitely like a lot of the big notable ones that kind of paved the way for more trans talent. And when she passed, it was like, man, it was just kind of devastating. And that's what I was telling to the main cast about. And of course,
mm.
lo and behold, now we lost like people like Rachel, Billy, James, and all these people to cancer. Like all of it was cancer related too. So it sucks, but
Mm.
I always say that, yeah, and especially since I've also lost people to, cancer and so much and so on. This is something that also means so much to me. And honestly, I know it's an old saying that, like, just be grateful that it happened. Honestly, I won't say that the pain ever goes away, like being grateful. I'm just really happy that we know them and they were made us laugh, they made us smile, they did everything. But yeah, it's like they still live on. I mean, I know that it's still going to be that we're still going to be feeling their absence for a long time, but at the end of the day, we just made really great. Yeah. It's the people
Yeah.
that you know, man. It's like I know that we talked about it in the industry. It's like who knows you and every so often, but yeah, sometimes in the industry you can just encounter some amazing, just incredible people, and you just never know when, you know, they're gonna leave us. So my best piece of advice that I want to close this out on because I gotta go in like a couple of minutes, but my best piece of advice, it's really cherish the ones that you love. I know it sounds cliche, but it really is so true. Where it's like you gotta cherish the ones that you love and just really care about so much, and really make sure that those times with them just don't really take it for granted. I think that's something that a lot of us, I say that a lot of us, like so many people just kind of tend to do. It's like, oh yeah, they're in our lives. So it's like, oh, we did this thing. Da, 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 da. No, it's, you know, life is too short and you just never know when it's going to be your time to go. So that's why
So
I'm just like,
appreciate people
just
now.
appreciate being able to be around them for the time
Yeah,
that you do have here on this, on Earth. That's
absolutely.
That's the
That's a
message that I
beautiful
want to go
thought,
out
and
on.
and you're
Yeah,
absolutely right. You don't get over it. People are like, "Oh, it'll
exactly. Yeah.
pass. This too shall
Yeah.
pass."
I mean, I've,
No,
yeah.
it
No,
hurts.
because like I've had,
It gets easier with time because time. I have my best friend I lost when I was 19 years old,
oh yeah.
and it feels like a different world. It feels like a
Yeah.
completely different time. I'm 51 now. That was when we were 19. It's a completely different world. But
Yeah.
I still. So yes, it doesn't hurt as much, of course,
Cause
but
like,
you can't say to someone. It's not appropriate to say to someone like this will pass or you'll get over it, or that person,
yeah.
they became a part of you, even if you don't know them and they were someone that you admired in the
Yeah.
industry. It's still something that people take real like people took Carter and Rachel's passing really intensely.
Yeah.
This is their childhood. Pokemon are as people's childhood. People grew up with it, so it's their childhood they see. Robin Williams, I grew up with him, so it was very
I was
dramatic
just
to
thinking
lose
about, yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a part of
It
your
could be
world.
recently. I mean, I've had losses that have happened recently, some that happened a decade, a
Hmm.
long time ago, by the time I was born, and it's still, there's always just going to be that giant hole that's going to be in your heart, that they're not physically here anymore. But I
So
mean,
you
yeah, you
honor
could say
them
that,
by honoring your
yeah,
life.
yeah, it's, I mean, spiritually, they'll always live on, but yeah, just, yeah, grief is kind of really weird. It really is. I just can't really explain it. So,
It's surreal. It's surreal. It doesn't make sense. One moment the person's
yeah,
there, one moment they're not. So
exactly. Here
there's
today,
no
gone
right
today.
way to
It's,
grieve. No right way.
yeah, yeah. Here today, gone today. It's not here today, gone tomorrow.
Right. But
Yeah,
honor, the best thing that we can do is to honor our lives. That's how you honor
exactly.
someone else that is not, no longer in physical
Yeah,
form. Honor your life for them. Be the best
yeah,
version of yourself. Allow yourself to break down and then lift yourself up
oh,
again.
yeah.
Find
Family,
that something inside of you that says, "No, what if? What if there's more? What if there's
exactly.
something else I could do?" So,
Family, friends, you know, everyone. Just enjoy yours. Just enjoy this life while you can. That's pretty much the last bit of advice that I would want to close out on.
well said.
Yeah, and with that, oh boy, yeah, I guess we really needed this talk today. So yeah, baby Groot. Yee. Alrighty, I think that's literally the voice I would picture for him too. Not gonna lie.
Oh, baby Groot.
Baby Groot. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me today. This was a really lovely talk, and
Thank
yeah,
you
I'm
so
just
much
really
for
happy
having me,
that we were
Robert.
able to finally, after many reset, it's kind of a thing on the show where stuff just gets pushed back. But hey, I'm just glad that right now, today, just worked out for both of us.
Yay, it was lovely to see you. You're a huge heart. And I don't know if
Thanks.
anyone caught that, but Robert said he's going to be at the Comic-Con in LA around his birthday. Did you say it was
Yeah,
around your birthday?
yeah, Mike. In a couple weeks. Yeah,
Bring gifts.
yeah, and please. Don't. I mean, look, I might be a stranger, but please don't be, or actually don't be a stranger. Just be nice and kind,
Say
but just don't,
hello.
follow or stalk. Just don't be a complete weirdo. I'm just saying.
What
I
if
mean,
you
hey, I think a lot of us kind of got into this because we kind of healthily stalked a lot of our favorite actors on Wikipedia. I'm not even kidding.
uh,
Yeah, just a healthy stalking.
healthy stuff? Is there healthy stalking?
Yeah, like
So
what's
someone
the
will
age?
follow behind you while eating a carrot or something? That
I mean,
sounds nice.
hey, like, just look up what's the agencies? Who are you repped in? Just a bunch of other useless details. But anyways, kind of had to end that off on a weird note. So, yeah, where can people check out your stuff, socials? Just go ahead. Yeah, last
Yay!
bit of plug.
My website is www.simonaberman.com, SIMONABERMAN.com. I am on Instagram, Simonita the Great.
Nice.
Probably won't find me on Facebook, but LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn as well. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, Robert. You are lovely. Happy birthday if I don't see you. I
For
won't see
sure.
you probably in
Yeah,
California, but yay. And take
yeah,
care of yourselves, everyone.
yeah. And as those last words, thank you so much for watching. Stick around next time. And until then, oh shoot, have a lovely day and take care. Peace. Bye bye.